Thank you so much for joining us this morning for the monthly employment data release media call. My name is Madison Kessler, and I serve as the External Affairs Coordinator for the Florida Department of Commerce. Joining me here today is Jimmy Heckman, Bureau Chief for Workforce Statistics and Economic Research. At the conclusion of this presentation, we will be taking questions from Prudential Media. To ask a question, please submit it through the Teams chat feature, since we will not be able to accept questions through a private chat. We'll address as many questions as possible, but if your question is not covered, please email media@commerce.fl.gov, and our teams will work to get you an answer. Today's presentation is focused on employment data for October 24. If you have questions regarding other Florida Commerce topics, also use the media@commerce.fl.gov to connect with our communications and external affairs team. Now I'll turn it over to Jimmy.
Good morning, and thank you all for joining us today. At 10 o'clock this morning, the Florida Department of Commerce released October 2024 labor statistics for the state of Florida, as well as its sub-state areas, including all metropolitan areas, counties, and large cities. These data were produced by the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics through a federal-state cooperative agreement with FloridaCommerce. These data were collected through a combination of employer and household surveys, administrative records, and statistical modeling techniques. Florida's unemployment rate, total labor force, and labor force participation rate are published under the Local Area Unemployment Statistics Program using information collected from the current population survey. These statistics are based on a survey of households, and they capture information about individuals as opposed to jobs, and they are calculated by place of residence as opposed to place of work. Florida's seasonally adjusted unemployment rate in October 2024 was 3.3%. Unchanged from the previous month and up 0.2% from October of last year. The national unemployment rate was 4.1%, unchanged from the previous month. Florida's unemployment rate is 0.8 percentage point lower than the national rate and has now remained lower for 48 consecutive months since November of 2020. Miami-Dade County had the state's lowest unemployment rate at 2.2%, followed by Monroe County at 2.3%, and Gulf County at 3.1%. October of 2024, Citrus County had the highest unemployment rate at 5.6%, followed by Hamilton County at 5.2%, and Sumter County at 5.1%. The unemployment rate of 3.3% in October 2024 represented 369,000 jobless individuals out of a labor force of 11,029,000. Total employment, or the number of people with jobs, decreased by 10,000, or 0.1% from the prior month, while unemployment increased by 0.3%. Florida's labor force of 11,029,000, which is composed of all currently employed workers as well as unemployed job seekers who are actively looking for work, decreased by 9,000, or 0.1% from the prior month. This is the 7th month of declines in the statewide labor force. This trend continues to be driven by retirements and workers of the age of 55. Here we see the over-the-year percent change in the labor force in Florida, shown in blue, compared to the United States, shown in green. As of October 2024, Florida's labor force has declined by 0.3% over the year. The national labor force growth rate of national labor force grew at a rate of 0.5% over the same time period. This is the 4th consecutive month that Florida's labor force year-over-year growth rate has been slower than the national rate. Job creation data for Florida is derived from the current employment statistics, or CES survey, conducted by the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. The CES survey collects data from over 40,000 Florida businesses and establishments each month and measures jobs by industry across the state. Since these statistics are based on a survey of employers, they measure counts of jobs as opposed to individuals, and they capture characteristics of employers, such as industry and place of work. October 2024 is the first month in which economic data reflect the impacts of Hurricanes Helene and Milton on Florida's labor market. Helene made landfall after the September data collection period, but before data collection began for October, while Hurricane Milton made landfall during the week for which employers were asked to report on payroll employment. Total non-agricultural employment in Florida fell to 9,946,000 jobs in October 2024, down 38,000 jobs, or 0.4% from the prior month. This figure is up 133,200 jobs from 1 year ago, which is an over-the-year increase of 1.4%. The private sector component of employment was 8,786,200 jobs in October 2024, down 38,200 jobs, or 0.4% from the prior month. Total private employment was up 107,600 jobs from October 2023, an over-the-year increase of 1.2%. This was slower than the national private sector growth rate of 1.3% over the same time period. Florida's over-the-year private sector job growth rate has exceeded the nation's for 42 of the last 43 months since April of 2021. Only 2 out of the 10 industry supersectors in Florida gained jobs over the month. Education and health services gained the most jobs, increasing by 3,400 jobs, or 0.2%, followed by total government, increasing by 200 jobs, or slightly less than 0.1%. 8 of the 10 industry supersectors in Florida lost jobs over the month. Leisure and hospitality lost the most jobs, declining by 18,500, or 1.4%, followed by professional and business services, declining by 8,000 jobs, or 0.5%, and construction declining by 5,400 jobs, or 0.8%. In this graph, we see the over-the-year change in employment by industry supersector between October 2023 and October 2024, in Florida, shown in blue, compared to the United States, shown in green. The fastest growing in Florida industries over the past year were construction at 4.4%, followed by other services at 3.7%, and education and health services at 2.8%. 6 major sectors outpaced national trends over the past 12 months. Top 3 sectors where Florida outperformed national growth the most were other services, construction, and trade, transportation, and utilities. The map here shows the seasonally adjusted over-the-month job growth by local metro area in October 2024. In October 2024, 19 of the 24 metro areas in Florida lost jobs over the month. The areas that lost the most jobs were the Tampa, St. Petersburg, Clearwater area, losing 15,100 jobs, the Jacksonville metro area losing 4,300 jobs, and the Northport, Sarasota, Bradenton metro area losing 3,400 jobs. Only 3 of the 24 metro areas in Florida had over-the-month job gains. The Panama City metro area grew at a rate of 0.2% in October 2024, the fastest among all Florida metro areas. This was followed by the Crestview, Fort Walton Beach, Destin, and Miami Beach, Kendall metro areas, growing at a rate of 0.1% each. This concludes the presentation, and we'll be happy to field any questions from credentialed media.
Again, thank you so much for joining us today for the October 2024 rate release. If you have any additional questions, please email media@commerce.fl.gov. We look forward to having you for our next rate release for November 2024 on December 20th, 2024. Thank you and have a good weekend.